We learn Likutei Hilchos Tefila Daled. We are continuing with the story of the Baal Tefila. Now, the Baal Tefila and the hero met one another. And they told each other how they came. The hero told the Baal Tefila that since this storm came and everybody dispersed, when he went out to the place to renew his koyach, when he came back, he couldn't find the king with his people. So he went wherever he went. And he passed the places of all the king's men. In other words, he understood that this is the places where he went to is the places where they were before. In other words, he went to a place and he understood that that's the place of the king, but he couldn't find them. Then he went to another place and he understood that's the place of the queen, but he couldn't find her either. Then and all the other people, he says, but your place, the Baal Tefila, says, I didn't pass. Baal Tefila says, I went on the places on everybody's place, and also on your place, the place of the Gibor, I also went over. I went to one place and I saw there's a crowd of a king, so I understood, Vada, there's a king, there's a crowd, there's the king. But I couldn't look for him and I couldn't find him. Then I went and I saw a sea of blood, and I understood this sea came into being from the tears of the queen, and she cries for all that. So Bevali, the queen, is here, but I couldn't find her. Then I saw a sea of milk, and so I understood Bevadai, that's the milk of the princess, that was the baby. And she has so much milk, and it has to come out, and this is what the sea became. So Bevadai, the princess, is here, but I couldn't find her. Then I saw a place where there was golden hair. There was some golden hair there. So I understood that's the place of the baby, and I didn't touch them at all. I didn't take any of them. I knew that's Bevada, the place of the baby, but I couldn't find them. And I went more, and I found the sea of wine. I saw this is Bevada, the sea that was made from the talk of the poet, that his songs are like wine. That he's standing and talking and he's consoling the king and the queen. And then he's talking and speaks words of consolation to the princess. And from these diburim, it becomes like a sea of wine. As it says in the Song of Songs, it says, your mouth is like a good wine, but I couldn't find it. Then I saw a stone, that on the stone it is engraved the picture of the hand with the different lines in it. So I understood this is the place of the sage, of the Chacham, of the Melech. He engraved this tzura of the hand on the stone, but I couldn't find it. And so then I saw there's a table, and on one mountain I saw tables of gold, and a lot of treasures on top of them, and the other treasures of the king. So I said, here's Bevadai, the treasury, the minister of treasury of the king. But I couldn't find him either. So the Gibor says, I also went over all the places, and I did take from the golden hairs of the baby. I took 7 hairs that have all the different hues of gold. They're very precious baby. And the Gibor says, and I was sitting there, and I would eat whatever I would eat. There was some plants or whatever it is I would eat. He says, I didn't have anything, and I just went and went and went. And he says, I went to a place and I forgot my bow over there. Baal Tefila says, I saw this bow, and I knew it was your bow, but I couldn't find you. And the Gibor said, he says, I went until I found that camp, of all the heroes of the Zhlobs, the big dudes. And he said, I was very hungry, I wanted to eat. So immediately that I went in there, they accepted me as a king. Now I'm going to conquer the world. And my real kavanah, my real aim, is maybe I'll be able to find the king with his people. That's what I really want. them shot. Go to the Lord.
Right.
So the Baal Tefila spoke to the Giver, what are we going to do with these guys? This place is the Medina, they think the high tech and money is everything. What do we do with them? Come to some shtis and that people have money are gods by them. So the Baal Tefila says, so the Giver said to Baal Tefila that he heard from the king that you can get people out of all the titles, except somebody from greed. Somebody who is fell into greediness, there's no way to get him out of it. He says, you won't be able to do anything with that. And this he heard it from the Melech. It says, only what? He heard from the king that through the road that leads to the sword, from where he got his strength, you can take out of greed. You can take people out of greed, somebody who fell and sank into greed. And they sat together, the hero, the Baal Tefila, and on this they conferred on this, what to do with these greedy guys. That they asked them. So what they did was they took some time. That's what the Hamas called Hodna. A ceasefire for something. In other words, the Baal Tefila says to the Giver, give him some time. So he gave him some time, and they gave signals to one another. In other words, the Giver, the Baal Tefila, gave signals to one another, so you should know, should be able to communicate. So as the Baal Tefila goes back to the money people, he says that people are going down in that davening. They have all kinds of books of davening, and he got scared of them, and they got scared of him, and then he stood and he davened. So they also davened. He asked them, who are you? So they said at the time when the storm, confused the world, each sect chose for them, a different kind of all the philosophies, whatever, what is the tachlis? And we decided we should only do Isaac and Tefillah to Kodesh Baruch. So we found the Baal Tefila, and he's our king. When the Baal Tefila heard this, he liked it a lot. That's what he wanted. So he started talking to them, and he revealed to them his tefillahs and the writings that he did about it. And they heard, and their eyes were opened, and they saw how great he was. Immediately, they made him king on them. And their Melech forgave the Meluchas, Vakasha, because they saw that he was way, way beyond them. And the Baal Tefila taught them and opened up their eyes, made them really great, total tzaddikim. Because truth is that before they were also tzaddikim, but now that they opened up their eyes, they became huge, awesome tzaddikim. And the Baal Tefila sent a letter to the Giver, and telling him how he was zoicha, to become the Melech. Until, something, we'll stop here, and we'll continue. Actually, something, let's continue a bit more. Yeah? A little more. And the place of the Medina of money, they were busy with their avoidance. And all the time that the Giver, he was coming to an end, he became very scared. So they did the avoidance and the sacrifice and incense, whatever it is, to their gods. And they said they have to send to this Medina with the biggest shirts, the rich. They're going to go to America. America will save them. So as they were going there, they found a person walking with a stick, and that stick alone, the staff that that person was working for, was more expensive than all their gods put together. So And he was going with a hat that there were precious stones in this hat that was like more expensive than anything they owned, well, all of them. So immediately they fell on him and they fell down and they bowed to him and salami, bologna, manoni, because they said that's the God of all gods because he's so rich. That person was the one in charge of the treasures of the Melech. And he says, this is Chiddush by you. What I'm holding, the stake and this now. Let me show you what richness is. He took him to the mountain and he showed him the treasures of the Melech. Immediately they fell down. Shalomi, Bologna, and then this is the God on top of all gods. Because they believe the main thing is money. But sacrifices, they did not sacrifice. Why? Because that's a God of all gods. Avada, should sacrifice them. But when they were on the way, so the people who sent them said, they warned them not to sacrifice on the way. Because they'll find out if they want to sacrifice, nobody will be left. They will be, they'll find somebody to go, driving around with Rolls Royce, they'll sacrifice themselves to him. That's himself, there will be nobody left. So, it says maybe they'll find, maybe they'll find a treasure on the way. Maybe one of them will walk to the bathroom and suddenly he'll find the treasure. He'll kill himself. So they want them not to sacrifice any sacrifices of themselves. But it was very clear to them that this man is the God on top of all gods, since he is so rich. Then the Shluchim said, why should we go to America to these people, with these really, really rich guys? They have all the godliness. This person, the Davide, can only show because such a big God, he has all these riches. So they asked him to go to their place. And he said, okay, he's going to go there. And they came to the place. And by the Medina, there was a big simcha that they found such a God because they were sure that he is going to save them. He is the Father going to save them. Because he has such. So this man was the treasury minister of the real Melech. First of all, they said they'll make a seder. No sacrifices. Because he obviously was a big tzaddik, and all the people of the Melech were big tzaddikim. And he says the whole thing was distasteful to him. But he couldn't really, fix them yet. But first thing first, no sacrifices. Stop shechting people, and fight people, for money, for people, for riches. Up to here for today.